today's video, I'm going to give you 3 good reasons why you need to consider these 2 laptops. The first is their connectivity options, the second is the upgradable slot in them, and the third is their processing speed. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you something like a bonus for you to actually use in considering them as well. So stick around and watch the video to the end. This particular HP here is actually an HP Omen 15. HP Omen 15 2018, that's an 8th gen. And this particular one here is Dell Latitude there's no E. Dell Latitude 5580. It's also, it's not an 8th gen, it's a 7th gen. So these are the 2 laptops, and those are the model numbers that they do have. Now let's look at the connections from the back. From the back of the system, you actually have a USB-C Thunderbolt connector at the back. It supports 40 gigabit per second speed. Wow, that is a lot. In fact, the display port, which is the HDMI, also carries the 1.4 speed. Then you also have a USB Type A port that carries a 3.1 speed. Wow, that is very good for this system. You also have a mini display port that you can find at the back of the system. You have one HDMI that I've said, which is 2.0 speed. It actually supports the 4K output at the 60 Hz rate. The heart rate that you can use your 4K display is actually 60 Hz. Now, the next port that you see there is the RJ45 Ethernet. It's actually a LAN port. Okay, then the next one is the security lock. The security lock is a Kennington lock slot. That is where you can use something like a rope to actually tie your system to a desk or tie it to wherever that you want. If you are going to leave it for a long time, or your building is secure, so you can use that. Let's go to the left-hand side of the panel. On the left-hand side of the panel, you actually have the USB 3.1 Type A standard USB port. That's another one. So on the you also have your card reader that actually supports the SD, SDHC, SDXC ports. Cards. Those are the cards that particular card reader actually supports. You also have your microphone jack, and you also have a headphone or microphone combo jack. Those are the slots that you have on the left side panel of the system. Now, going to the right hand side, you have another Type A 3.1 standard USB connector. Wow, that is 3 USB ports on a system carrying 3.1. I think that's very nice for this HP Omen. Okay, now the next thing you want to look at again is the charging jack, which is the power connector. This power connector is the USB one that has this blue connector, this blue tip. It also has a LED light beside it. So for the connectivity options, these are the things you get. Additionally, you can also look at your wireless. Your wireless has the 802.11 speed. Then the Bluetooth is 4.2, and it can also carry the 5.0 combo. Wow! So for the HP Omen, this is what you get. Let me quickly give you a full gist about that of this Dell. This particular Dell you are looking at, Dell Latitude 5580. Okay. Dell Latitude 5580. It carries a Type-C optional Thunderbolt 3 port. It supports USB Type-C hubs. It also supports USB and charging. Okay, so that is the Type-C port that you see there. It can charge. It can connect. You can connect with your phone or other devices for transfer or any other form of connectivity. Now, another thing that you want to consider on this next port to it is the 3.0 USB port is there for the peripherals. The SD card reader is also present on it. There you can also have your smart card reader on it. So these are the ports that you find at the left-hand side of Dell Latitude E5580. Okay, on the right-hand side, you have your headset ports, You know, it combines with the jack, for headphones and microphones. Okay, the SIM card is also here for Y1 cellular connectivity. That particular technology is quite, let's say it's quite old, but maybe some people still need it. But Y1 connectivity is there for this one. So you have your SIM slot. You also have the 3.0 port with power share. That is, it's meant for high speed as well. Then your VGA port is also there. It does this your legacy analog video output for monitors and what? Projectors. Of course, you also have your security cable lock, so you can lock it to a desk or anything that you want. Okay, on the rear view, that is the behind, you have RJ45 ports, you have the HDMI port, you have the USB 3.0 port, then your power jack, that is where your charger goes into, like you can see, is also there. So if I'm going to compare this to this, you just get to understand that the USB-A ports 3.1 here, this place is 3.0. So that's just the difference. Do you want to actually buy this for that reason? I don't know. It's left for you. So we are talking about the upgradable slots here. Which slots are upgradable? So let's look at the storage. Number one, on this Omen, you have a place you can put in your SATA HDD or SATA SSD, whichever one you can do. So let's see if it's also here. On this system as well, it is not there at the moment, but you also have the slot for it. That is why this port is here. You see it? J SATA. So you can put it here with the cord, so you can take it as well. Now you also have the SSD connector M.2 or NVMe. You have it here. You also have it here. You can see it here. So for any upgrade for expansion, you have 2 storage slots on both systems. So that means this Dell is also having some very, very good functionality. Okay. Another thing you want to consider is their RAM slots. How many RAM slots do they have? HP Omen is carrying 1, 2, right? The Dell, let's see what the Dell is like, is also carrying 1, 2. So it shows that these systems are actually workstations. Now let's see what their processor is like. The processor here is on board, the one here is on board. The GPU here is on board, while this one too is on board. So it shows us that they are almost the same in terms of slots, in terms of expansion. So these 2 laptops are actually good, and this is how they design laptops these days. So they're actually good. You can expand to your taste. You can make this 32 gig, you can make this 32 gig, and they will take it. Number 3, the processing speed. Let's begin with the HP Omen. This HP Omen is carrying the Intel Core i7 with 8750H. That's the processor description. It's carrying H. Then it has 1 processor, 6 cores, 12 threads. Then you have the maximum frequency, which is 4.0 gigahertz. Okay, the base frequency is 2.1 gigahertz. So that is what the processor here looks like. Let's look at the processor here. Intel Core i7. Let me see if I can see the maximum frequency. Core speed. The core speed here is also okay. It's fluctuating. I'm using this app at the moment. Okay, but this one carries something very unique. This is carrying a Core i7 7820HQ, at 2.9 speed. Okay, let's see the number of cores it has. It's carrying. The number of cores is actually, it's 1 processor, 4 cores, then 8 logical processors, as compared to this, that is 12 logical processors. So this one is quite higher than this. I know, okay? I know. So the next thing, let's check out their RAM. In fact, their RAM, I don't need to talk about their RAM. This, at the moment, both of them are carrying 16. So, and they are both PC4, So the RAM is not a big deal in this case. The next thing I would like to look at is what their GPU is like. Then I'll then tell you why I'm actually doing this comparison. Okay, now let's check out their GPU. The GPU on the HP Omen is actually carrying a GTX 1050. That is a 4 gig dedicated VGA, or let's say 4 gig dedicated VRAM. Okay, the driver version on this one is the 582.28, while the driver version here is 390.65. Okay, let's check out the CUDA core. The CUDA core here on the HP Omen is 640, while the one we have here is 512. So it's quite higher. The graphics memory here is 4 gig, of course, and the graphics memory here, the dedicated, is 2 gigs. Okay, any other info that I might want to give you? The memory interface here is 128 bits. The one here is 64 bits. So you can see, of course, that this is like an unfair comparison, but why I'm actually showing you these two laptops is because this system is quite expensive, and I think that's going to be the bonus I want to give you at the end of the video. It's quite expensive, but this one is a very good way to run away from those expenses. You know, this is very affordable.